There you go. Welcome everyone to the Fantasy Football Profit Podcast. I'm Craig Phillips, joined as always by Jeff Torrey, and tonight we're reacting to the Bucs Cowboys opening game. There's actually 2 seconds left. Ryan Suckup just hit a field goal to go up 2. So unless something crazy happens, Bucs just came back down the field and won this thing. Tom Brady, 44-year-old Tom Brady, just led another game-winning drive, most likely, unless some crazy thing happens here in these last 2 seconds, which would have to be some miracle, crazy many lateral play, which I don't think is going to happen. So this has just been a great way to start the season. Just a great game. It's going to be, both teams, the offenses were great tonight for the most part. The passing offenses, right? There's not much to be found for the running game here tonight at all on either team. And I guess the biggest, we'll get to that. But let's talk as we wait here and see if anything happens on this. But the passing offense was great. Dak looked awesome. Tom Brady looked awesome. What's the biggest takeaway you have tonight?
There's a few, right? I feel it's just the first game of the year, and we kind of knew what we were setting ourselves up for, right? Dallas, Their defense was just terrible last year. Tampa's was good. So the biggest, I'll give you two. The two things that I really took away from this. Number one, vindication, if you will. I think we were absolutely correct on making sure you got Antonio Brown on every single one of your teams because he was a value pick. He showed it. Doesn't mean that Mike Evans won't show up at times. But the way we ranked him, we were correct. And he came out 5 receptions, 121 yards, a touchdown. Getting in there early is huge for him. So I think that moving forward, if you drafted him, that he's going to be huge. Number two, what is really what I was looking for is how comfortable does Dak look in the pocket after that injury? A team that can really put pressure on the ball. The offensive line looked good. Dak ran. He looked like his confidence was not shaken. He looks back like he's pretty close to form, which is huge, not only for his stock, which people are already ranking him relatively high. So that's not as big of a deal, but can he support multiple players on that team? And it is a resounding yes. Cooper and Lamb are going to be absolute beasts. Lamb and Cooper, you drafted them relatively high, but both of them look like they have a potential of being top 10.
They looked awesome. So game's over. There we go. Nothing happened there. Cowboys aren't able to do it. Prescott, he was 42 for 58. That's crazy. 42 to 58. And this wasn't a game where they had to just come from behind the whole time. This wasn't like they were down 3 touchdowns, had to just air it out. This is what they're going to do. This is like what they want to do. So 42 for 58, 403 yards, 3 touchdowns. So Cooper got 13 of those balls for 139 and 2 touchdowns. CeeDee Lamb 7 for 104 and a touchdown. Just great games for both of those guys. The targets were crazy too. 16 targets for Cooper, 15 targets for Lamb. They're both going to be, maybe top 10. If they play like this, if they try to throw like this, they're going to be top 10 receivers. This is probably, you won't see 58 pass attempts a game, but still, Cowboys don't know. Maybe. I know part of this was they didn't want to run the ball tonight. Part of that is how good that front seven is for the Bucs, but I'm not saying it's all that. Mike McCarthy, for some reason, this is what he wants to play like, right? We saw this last year. We were disappointed in Zeke at times because it just wasn't happening. 11 carries, 33 yards. It's just not happening.
Yeah, and the big one too is throwing it that many times and you only target him twice. He's not in the game plan as far as passing, and this is what we were worried about. I don't think it will always be this bad. Don't get me wrong.
No, the Bucs are very good. Their defense, their run defense is very good.
They're one of the best last year against the run.
Yeah.
So if not the best, tamper that, and I guess this would be my question to you. Right now, Zeke owners are going to be losing their minds because they're seeing what is happening. Right, you don't play defense all that well. We'll see. Advantage of Dak is playing very, very well. Tony Pollard in 2 running back packages. It was very interesting. Zeke owners panic. Would you feel comfortable trying to buy low? Because you wouldn't be able to buy it's not going to be nothing. But what do you think a trade would be right now without seeing anything else? We'll just say the value of draft. Who would you try to give up to get Zeke right now?
see, it's hard to say. I don't know.
It would probably have to be another running back, a lower running
back.
And
the problem is I'm just trying to say, would I even want to? Right now, I don't like the way this looked for that offense. I just don't like what I saw. I don't even know how far down I'd have to go. It would be somebody. Okay. I mean, it would have to be somebody that I ranked originally 15 to 20, to be honest, because that's why I'm going to try to get something here if I'm doing this, right? Because you're taking a slight risk, and maybe this is what Zeke is, because we had it all last year, and then look how it started this year. So it would probably be somebody that maybe ranked my 15 to 20 range to start. Just trying to see who that would be, who I'd feel comfortable with. And
James Robinson.
I would definitely trade James Robinson for him, but I actually ranked James Robinson ahead of Zeke this week. So you can see this coming, but I would do that trade. And you know what, honestly, if James Robinson has a great week one, which he very well could, he's playing Houston, that could honestly, there could be somebody out there that just panics that much. They're like, okay, I'm taking James Robinson. Look how good he was. He was better than Zeke last year, right?
Yeah. He was. Exactly. He was.
And maybe that's the right, you know what? And that could be the right trade for the Zeke owner to get James Robinson. It honestly could at the end of the day. And I don't really think it will be, but it could be. It could be. And so that could honestly be the level, because James Robinson's going to have a good week.
How comfortable are you? Like, where do you actually think Zeke will, after seeing today, we don't want to overstate what this is, because it was a bad matchup. Yeah. But what do you still feel like, if he's healthy all 16 games, he'll be a bottom of the top 10 kind of guy? That's kind of where we ranked him to begin with.
I still believe that. I'm not going to overreact too much, because I don't think Zeke.
But even that, I mean, 10th.
I don't think he looked that bad when I was actually watching him play, watching him move out there. I don't think he looked bad. Really. Yeah, I think that offense is good.
He only got 11 carries.
I don't think
it wasn't like he really got going. He didn't play a whole lot in the preseason. So
I just don't think he looked bad. I'm still, we'll see what he does against, I think, the Chargers next week. That will be what, if they do the same thing against the Chargers next week. Okay. Different story. Zeke's done. No,
we're done. I want to jump over to the other side. Yep. The same question is for all of the running backs as far as Tampa Bay, right? Yeah. Like, people are wondering, can I get value out of Rojo? Can I get value out of Fournette? Neither of them looked that good. They both averaged around 3.5 yards per carry. Fournette 9 for 32. Ronald Jones 4 for 14. I think he lost a fumble, right? Was that?
Yeah, that was Jones. Okay. Yeah, he definitely did. And then Fournette also had 5 catches, I think like 7 targets. So Fournette, to me, definitely was their lead back. He felt like their lead back, and it probably even made it more after that fumble. But it wasn't like it was a great effort, honestly. This is more of in a pinch, you still need a running back. Fournette's the guy there, because in PPR, I mean, he had, what do you have? He had 59 yards. He had 5 catches. So in PPR, he's still double-digit scoring with those catches. So that's not the worst. You can play that. Fournette did look to be the main guy there, but it wasn't. They're not looking to run the ball too much yet, which is maybe that's just the nature of this game, because I can see them wanting to do that kind of style.
Well, they were up. I mean, I realized that they're passing all over them, right? But they were up, and they still really weren't running that much. Like, I mean, that's how they lost the ball at the end. Godwin tried to fight his way into the end zone, lost the ball, and then Dallas comes down, kicks a field goal, and then the chain reaction of things. Yeah. But it was kind of surprising they weren't like, okay, let's just grind it out kind of here. What do you think about Giovanni Bernard? He did play. He caught a couple balls. He was only targeted 3 times, because we mentioned Fournette catching 5 balls. Do you think when they get more comfortable with him, because obviously, he's one of the guys that is kind of newer to the team, do you think that is going to affect these running backs even more? Do you think that he could be in this? It could be turned into.
I don't think I think his role is just going to be like, even the announcers talking about, like that James White role the Patriots had. It's really going to be the third downs. It's going to be when they're these 2-minute drives. Right. He's going to be the guy in.
James White, I mean, that comparison.
James White had some value, right?
I was going to say he caught like 10 balls a game.
But the difference is with this is the Bucs have much better receivers than the Patriots ever had, for the most part, other than Randy Moss back in the day. But this is just better. Like, look at these receiver numbers. Antonio Brown, like we said, 5 for 121 and a touchdown. This is a great day for him. Godwin, 9 for 105 touchdown, not dropped. He fumbled that one going to the end zone almost. He wasn't going to score on that play, but he was close. Still fumbled it. That hurt. He had 14 targets. So Godwin was the clear target leader today. So there's that. Gronk, 8 for 90, 2 touchdowns. He's on waiver wires out there.
Yeah, he was one of the guys that we were. Yeah. And with this is what I really love to see, because you don't have to get Gronk involved this early in the year. Yep. It shows that he will be instrumental. I mean, you're not always going to be able to get 2 touchdowns out of the guy, right?
Yep.
They have a ton of weapons, but I love the fact that they went to him because he was a mismatch, and they didn't force it to Evans at all. Which, if you're an Evans owner right now, how are you feeling?
So,
because there definitely you will have games where he
don't feel good.
Don't
feel good. I don't feel good at all. And that's why we told people don't draft Mike Evans, because this is what you're going to get some weeks. And this is going to be a lot of weeks. He will come back and have a 2 touchdown week for you. That's going to happen too. But you're going to get a lot of this. And here's the thing. If you're a Mike Evans owner, you can't trade him right now. Do not trade him. You cannot trade him today. No. You have to wait. You have to wait for that game that he gets those 2 touchdowns, whatever, and has that game. Then you trade him. Because you're going to see too much of this.
Next week he goes off and he scores 120 yards and 3 touchdowns.
I'm trading him.
You're still trading him.
I'm trading him because you're going to get this. You're going to get this 3 for 24. No matter what, you're going to get it. He could have half of his weeks could be that big, huge week, but then half of the weeks he's giving you 3 for 24, and then you're 500 on the season in fantasy. Right. You might get we're not playing. This isn't cumulative scoring throughout the year. You just win a week. He's only going to win you some weeks. That's it. And he's just, I don't want him. I didn't want him before the year. I don't want him now. This solidifies what I thought. Brown though solidifies what I thought on Brown. It really does.
Yeah, no, it did. I mean, everyone really. Godwin, I figured he'd be number one.
You were definitely a lot higher than. I wasn't down on Godwin. I just didn't know how that played.
No, yeah, you split the difference a little more. I had him number one.
I wanted Brown because of value. In reality, and to be a value play. Brown's definitely the better value. He wasn't the lead receiver tonight. Godwin's definitely the lead guy. If tonight's any factor, any indication of what it's going to to be like.
Right. So Antonio Brown. I mean, he had
the most yards, PPR,
but I was going to say, he didn't have a fumble either. Yep. Yeah, he looked good. I guess my last question for you, unless you have anything else, Rob Gronkowski has a huge one. He's probably going to be one of the, he's going to be a top 5 tight end this week for sure.
Yep.
How do you view him as far as a week to week guy, or is he still
he's back? He's maybe back end of the top 10 yet. He's that kind of thing, but he's going to be a touchdown guy. He's going to score some touchdowns. I don't know if he'll get 8 for 90 most weeks. You could see more 4 for 40, but he'll get you a touchdown. He's going to get he's going to be double-digit touchdowns this year.
So the people that lost Irv Smith, tight end, all of this. I mean, now you have to pay for him. That's the only crappy part about it. Right?
Oh man, I'm one of those. I had him last night. I should have picked him up in our league.
You're gonna have to pay.
I looked
for
at
him. It, but you're still saying, okay, he's a bottom 10 guy. Don't overreact.
Yeah,
but he's probably still gonna be one of the better guys.
He will be a very solid. He'll be a solid option for you that can get you a touchdown half the weeks this year.
Yeah. And you know what? After the rest of the games too, it might actually cool off because Hunter Henry or whatever is playing. Jonnu Smith. One of these guys could really break out. We talked about.
You could get one of those guys deeper, like a Cole Kmet. When Adam Troutman comes out, there's all those kind of guys that could do it too. So we'll see how it plays. Somebody's gonna boom. Maybe even Jared Cook gets 2 touchdowns. Who knows?
Right. Exactly.
But all right, there we go. Bucs, Cowboys. That was a great way to start the season. So Sunday. Bunch more games. Can't wait. We will be back late Sunday night. We'll record. We're going to do some instant reactions to those games, at least half the games, and then half the game. That'll come out probably late Sunday night. And then I believe probably Tuesday morning, we'll have a second episode out recapping everything else. So if you guys haven't seen us before, go check us out. Instagram.com/fantasyfootballprofit. It's youtube.com/fantasyfootballprofit. Check us out. Go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Anywhere you can get podcasts, go find us. We'll be there. So, all right, that'll do it for this time.
Fantasy back, football back. Talk to you guys later.